Today, we're diving into a really high-stakes geopolitical drama that's playing out right now in the Strait of Hormuz. It's a complicated story full of public warnings, some pretty serious secret allegations, and a huge power game between China, Iran, and, of course, the United States.
Okay, so to really get this, we've got to set the stage. We're talking about a place that's not just vital to the global economy, it's a constant source of international tension, a real powder keg.
And this is it, the Strait of Hormuz. You know, this narrow little strip of water isn't just some shipping lane. Think of it more like a geopolitical pressure cooker. A massive slice of the entire world's energy supply flows through here every single day. And, well, recent events have just cranked the temperature way, way up.
Yeah, to really wrap your head around what's going on, you have to appreciate just how sensitive this place is. It's a genuine flashpoint, where the economic lifelines of huge countries and a military might of global powers are in this constant, really delicate balance.
Which brings us to the first big move that really lit the fuse for this whole story. A very public, very assertive, and completely unambiguous statement from China. So there it is, straight from China's defense minister, Admiral Dong Jun. And it's not subtle, right? This is a direct declaration that China plans on being a major player here. Visible, present, and they're not backing down. What does that really mean? It means China is signaling, loud and clear, that it's willing to challenge the United States' long-standing dominance in the region to protect its own interests, even if that means risking a direct confrontation.
So what's fascinating here is how this breaks down China's official position. They're making it crystal clear, we're going to protect our ships, we're going to honor our deals with Iran, and by the way, this partnership is our sovereign choice. And that little warning to outside powers, come on, let's be blunt, that's aimed squarely at the United States and its allies. It's basically them saying, stay out of our business here. So that's the confident public face of China's policy, the self-proclaimed stabilizer. But while Beijing is projecting this image of control, U.S. intelligence suggests something, well, something very different and way more provocative is happening just beneath the surface.
And this is where the story takes a really sharp turn. Let's get into this explosive allegation, because it doesn't just contradict China's public narrative, it could potentially ignite a much wider conflict in the region. So get this, a CNN report drops citing U.S. intelligence, and it claims that far from being a simple stabilizer, Beijing is actively getting ready to arm Tehran. This is supposedly happening even as a fragile ceasefire is holding, which kind of suggests Iran might be using this quiet time to rearm with a little help from its most powerful friend. And make no mistake, this is a very, very dangerous development that could have huge consequences for everybody.
And the crucial point here isn't just that weapons are allegedly being sent, it's what they are and how. We're talking about manpads, man-portable air defense systems. These are basically shoulder-fired missiles. You can easily hide them, you can easily transport them, and they are an incredibly serious threat to any low-flying aircraft, from helicopters to fighter jets. The intel also suggests China might be routing them through other countries to cover its tracks, making it almost impossible to prove where they came from.
And this quote just brilliantly illustrates the danger. This is from Donald Trump talking about a U.S. F-15 that was reportedly downed. It really highlights that manpads aren't some big strategic system. They're the classic asymmetric threat. It's the ability to take down a multi-million-dollar state-of-the-art aircraft with a weapon that's relatively cheap and easy to use. In the hands of Iranian-backed forces, that is a deadly, deadly risk to even the most advanced military air power out there.
Okay, so you've got this bombshell allegation out there. You'd expect a pretty strong reaction, right? And you'd be correct. Beijing's response was swift, and it was absolute. They didn't just deny it, they pushed back hard. Because there's so much at stake for China here. If these allegations are true, it's a massive blow to their international reputation and could trigger some serious economic sanctions.
So the Chinese embassy in Washington called the intelligence untrue and baseless and accused the U.S. of malicious sensationalism. I mean, this is a complete and total denial. There is absolutely no wiggle room here.
So here we are, stuck between two stories that are complete opposites. On one side, you've got U.S. intelligence claiming a secret arms deal is happening. On the other, you have a forceful, absolute denial from China. And that contradiction really forces us to ask the bigger question. What's the real motivation here? Is China secretly trying to beef up its military influence? Or is the U.S. maybe using this intelligence to try and undermine China's rise on the world stage?
To even begin to untangle that question, you've got to zoom out and look at the incredibly complex web of alliances and rivalries and dependencies that define this whole region. It's one of those places where your friends can be your enemies and your enemies can be your friends, and it all just depends on the day.
See, none of this is happening in a bubble. It's all connected. China is one of the main buyers of Iran's sanctioned oil, which gives Tehran a critical economic lifeline. Then, Iran is supplying Russia, China's strategic partner, with drones for its war in Ukraine. And get this, all of this is unfolding as the US and Iran are reportedly holding these high-stakes peace talks. The context, the timing, it's everything.
And this table really just nails what's at stake for everybody. For China, look at that top row. It's all about energy security. That oil and gas has to keep flowing. For Iran, in the middle, the strait is a powerful tool to project its influence in the region. And for the US, at the bottom, it's about trying to maintain global stability and freedom of navigation. Three very different goals, all converging on one tiny choke point. And that means any miscalculation by any of them could have devastating consequences for the entire world. So what are you supposed to take away from all this? Well, it's this profound and really dangerous uncertainty. Are we watching a new phase of covert military support that could spark a wider war? Or is this all just part of a sophisticated diplomatic chess game, a series of bluffs and pressure tactics? Right now, it's impossible to know for sure. And that ambiguity is exactly what makes the situation in the Strait of Hormuz so incredibly perilous. But one thing is for sure, the world is watching, and the stakes have never been higher.